Hello again everyone and welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host Derailious, and today we're going to be going over even more changes that are coming soon to the Alpha Network that actually make the game quite a bit better. Without any further ado though, let's launch right into this. Launching out the gate here, we have some absolutely fire trophy fishing changes, so let's get started. They implemented the following changes here. Pity now triggers at 600 catches for all fishes. The catch rates of the following fish have now been changed. So Vanille have gone from a 4% rate to an 8% rate, Karate Fish from 1 to 2, Slugfish from 10 to 15, Blobfish from 15 to 35, and the Golden Fish appearance rate has been decreased from 15 to 20 minutes to 8 to 12 minutes. All of those are pretty major buffs. So the design notes here state that the Blobfish change is so that it rolls after all the other trophy fish have rolled, so 35% may be a little bit too high here, they might target 25%, and the Golden Fish adjustment should make it so that you catch its diamond before you catch all of the other fish, which makes sense. With these changes, trophy fishing should take less than 100 hours total for most players. Absolutely amazing changes here. I love everything listed. Before we continue, I just want to say, if you are interested in buying anything off the Hypixel store, make sure you use code RAIL for 5% off your order. There currently is a Black Friday sale going on, and if you buy the $100 package of gems, you get this additional Overflux Power Orb skin included with your order. I've got to say, it looks pretty cool, aside from the flashing skin bug. But I'm going to be real, if you're interested, make sure you use code RAIL. Thank you, Jade, for being the wonderful guest here on the show, and back to the video. Next up, we have some Bestiary changes. The kills required for the following mobs have been reduced from 1,000 to 500, and these include the Barbarian Duke 10, Mage Outlaw, Blade Soul, Ashfang, and Magma Boss. Lord Jobus now only requires 100 kills to max out, and the Worm now only requires 1,000 kills to max out. That is the Pyroclastic Worm. I think all of these changes are great, just solid Bestiary changes. Nothing too absurd. I think Jobus being at 100 is totally fine in my view. They nerfed the mini-bosses, which are pretty great in terms of their Bestiary requirements, which is nice. And the Worm being reduced by 75% might be a little much, but I guess if they want to do that, that's fine by me as well. Next up, we have some Slayer changes. In terms of the general stuff, they've increased the XP contribution cap to a Slayer quest from a single mob from 50% to 75%. So if you have enough combat wisdom, something like a Burning Soul Demon can give you 75% XP progress. This does require testing, they may revert it, but it looks pretty nice. They've also made some changes to Blaze Slayer specifically here. They've rolled the attempted fix of capping Burning Vengeance's ability damage at 50 million, and they reduced the HP of Burning Soul Demon mini-bosses. The Tier 3 got nerfed from 12 million to 9 million, and the Tier 4 got nerfed twice over from 25 million to 17.5 million, and the higher level one from 75 million down to 50. Really great changes. They had too much health before. I think this is in a great spot at the moment. For Enderman Slayer, they've increased the base weapon damage of the Void Gloom Katanas by around 25%. They've also slightly increased their crit damage, and they slightly increased the delay of Void Gloom Seraph going into his beams phase, probably just to make it so players have more time to react to it. They want to maintain melee viability for Crimson Armor by allowing players to deal enough damage to reach hits phase during the beams, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Kudra armor changes. In terms of Fervor armor, they've changed the damage scaling of Fervor armor's ground pound to scale off of your EHP, and it's no longer affected by your melee and weapon damage. It also now activates an additional time from Burning Tier and above. It has been changed from Infernal only. So if you want to use ground pound, it'll be a little easier after this update. In terms of other changes, they've reverted the Blaze Tech ham radio's location restriction. They'll find a better way to resolve its gripes, and they've added crafting shortcuts to Blessed Bait and Whale Bait, which is pretty nice. There's also some other plan changes that further buff trophy fishing. These changes are to compensate for trophy fish chance now being an additive stat. They increased the trophy fish chance of all magma rods by 5%, and they've increased the trophy fish chance of the trophy hunter armor as follows: from silver from 5 to 10%, gold from 10 to 20%, and diamond from 20 to 30%. I still think this just looks like a buff with the other buffs to trophy fishing from before, but we'll have to wait and see. And there's also some to be determined changes. They might want to add some combat wisdom to Slayer weapons to make melee spawning a little faster, which would be pretty cool. And they want to cap Endstone Sword's damage buff at something, God knows what it'll be. Overall, if you want my opinion here, I am very happy about all of these changes. I don't think there's anything controversial here, like in the slightest, and I think that everything here just looks pretty good. They want to make the Slayer bosses make more sense, totally fine with me. They want to buff trophy fishing, I'm very happy with that. I think everything here looks great. They're trying to make the game a little bit better for those people getting into it now, and they seem to want to get more people into the game, at least before they release some major content. So hopefully we see that major content soon, but for now, this is all great stuff. Trophy fishing is going to be totally fine after these changes. I think there will be very few complaints. Pity now triggering at 600 for all fishes is great. You're going to get buffs to the majority of the drop rates for fish. It's going to be pretty good. I think most people are going to be very, very happy about this. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. The Bestiary changes are totally fine as well. Slayer changes are great. They're doing good work. Overall, I've got to say, I really am excited for this alpha at this point. It includes a lot of really great features for the majority of the game, and I think players will be pretty happy with it too, all things considered. I appreciate the feedback that they're taking into account when it comes to making changes. They're doing a great job of adding those details on the forum post down below, so if you have any thoughts you would like to add to the thread, feel free to respond down below. They are taking feedback into account, and they're doing a pretty good job of it in my opinion. At the end of the day though, my name's Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, because I will see you then.